Whether you are thinking about becoming a restaurateur or you are already in the business, Michael Politz has written a must-read, The Food and Beverage Magazine's Guide to Restaurant Success. Pick up your copy today at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, or wherever fine books are sold.
Food and Beverage Magazine Live, bringing food and beverage to life with your hosts, James Beard Award winner Jennifer English and Food and Beverage Magazine publisher Michael Politz. Featuring leaders in the hospitality, branded food and beverage, and CPG industries, many of whom are Jennifer and Michael's friends in the business. For an informal and informative conversation where friends in the business share the latest intel, ideas, and best practices. Live, juicy inside scoop from the tastemakers, newsmakers, bread bakers, drink shakers, spoon lickers, clam diggers, farms, foodies, and friends of the food and beverage magazine world. Here are your hosts, Jennifer English and Michael Politz.
Hello, hello, hello.
Jennifer, you know I'm busy, and you would not stop blowing up my phone telling me you had a special surprise. So it better be a good one, because I have got a team of people waiting to put a magazine out.
Are you ready?
Yes. And I can't believe you didn't tell me in advance.
So 2022 is the first year that the James Beard Awards came back to life in what we're calling Food 3.0. And you're always saying, Jennifer, get us the biggest names. I want the big names. I want the big influencers. I want the people who are the national standard bearers of excellence, which happens to be the definition of what it takes to win a James Beard medal. And by the way, I don't get to do this very often, but I actually really do have this prize here. Right?
Wow.
But you know what's just as valuable to me?
What?
My Food and Beverage Magazine Guide to Restaurant Success.
Thank
and
you.
to make sure people know that it's true.
It's
true. You and I have known each other a very long time.
Did you?
You actually wrote in the book, I've known you 20. So I got my inscribed copy. But I put all that friendship on the table. I'm going all in with this one, Michael. Guess where we went a few weeks ago?
To the James Beard Awards.
We went to Chicago for the James Beard Awards. And we talked to the biggest names. And you know who we went with? I know you love superstars. This woman is a member of Le Dame d'Escoffier. She serves the International Association of Culinary Professionals. She is an award-winning broadcaster herself. She's one of the most influential women in food. Her name? Margaret McSweeney joins us, the host of Kitchen Chat.
We love Margaret.
Let's make her big.
You got to be cloudy. We had to use Margaret's clout to get to those James Beard Awards.
We had to use Margaret's clout to get to the James Beard Awards. And by the way, the James Beard Awards really missed a good one with this, but I digress. We have got such an incredible array of conversations and comments from the biggest names in food, thanks to our friend Margaret McSweeney.
I love this, Jennifer. And Margaret, I love you. Thank you so much for that, because Jennifer always wants the biggest names like we talked about, but I'll never call my friends, right? So I'll say, Jennifer, get Tyler Florence. Jennifer, get Bobby Flay. Jennifer, and then she'll say, well, give me their numbers. And I'll say, no, just go get them. So it is the greatest thing. It's like our running joke. Like, go get this person. No, go get Emerald. No, I'm not going to email him. You get him. It's funny. Right, Jennifer, the way we do things?
Well, for over a decade, Margaret has been the host of Kitchen Chat. This month, she's featured in a beautiful feature story, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. And she and I are actually writing a story together for the August issue of Food and Beverage Magazine about the 2022 James Beard Awards. And I'm taking away all the oxygen in the room when it really belongs to Margaret. Margaret, thank you so much for coming and doing this with us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Michael. I have such great respect for all that you both do in this industry and with Food and Beverage Magazine. And thank you for the opportunity to represent you this year on the red carpet at the James.
Thank you. No, thank you. They wouldn't. I think I was a little too wild for the James Beard Awards.
So now, Margaret, when people saw that your badge said Food and Beverage Magazine, you had a lot of wonderful comments and people were very happy to talk to us.
Absolutely. They all love your resource and all that you do with Food and Beverage Magazine. So people were lining up, and it was just great to talk with everyone per your direction about the future of food.
She loves the future. That Jennifer English loves the future. The older we get, all she wants to do is talk about the future. I said, Jennifer, sooner or later, we're just going to be sitting in chairs talking about the past.
Yeah, but I'll have a corned beef sandwich in front of me and a nice pickle, and I'm going to be like, the past, I know what happens. I want to know what the coming attractions.
Because really, think about how funny, this is amazing, because like if I'll call one of my, like I'll call David Burke, and all we do is talk about, or even Charlie Palmer, all we do is giggle about the past, right? Like that's just what we, so that's why this is so important, because those guys are still chefing in their restaurants, and they know the youngsters, and so they're really tuned into these kids, right? I'm just sitting here looking at press releases all day, making sure we get the editorial done right. So this is a great extension, and it was great to, we've known Margaret for a while. You've known Margaret for longer than I have, but we talk a lot on the clubhouse, but we're not going to talk about the clubhouse and the Jamie Laritas. We're not going to talk about all of our friends in common, Margaret. We're not going to talk about, because Jamie would like to be talked about right now. You know that, right?
He's a great guy, a great co-host on Kitchen Chat, and a great friend.
No, he's amazing. But I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to just sit back and watch, Jennifer.
Well, before you go, Michael, I just want you to see this first clip. Margaret, you and I talked about who we had to talk to, and you and I agreed without question the one most important person to talk to as we go into the future of the James Beard Foundation and the James Beard Awards is the woman who is at the helm of these very awards and this organization. Can you talk a little bit about Claire for us?
Oh, Claire Reichenbach, what an amazing person. She is really moving the needle forward for James Beard Foundation, and that became even more apparent at this recent awards ceremony. She's all about transparency, accountability, really uplifting everyone and making everything equitable and achievable within the organization. And I love what she does also to empower women in the industry as well. I just can't speak highly enough about her.
So let's go to the video of the 2022 James Beard Foundation Awards and the foundation leadership.
We're just so excited to be back here in person, Margaret. The last 2 years have been brutal for this industry and for our community. So to be able to come together, to gather for good, to celebrate one another and the path forward feels incredibly special. Also, we've taken the last 2 years to really overhaul the awards to ensure that they are more accessible, more equitable, more transparent. So this is the first time out of the gate with this new approach, and that feels very important. In terms of the future of food and the future of the industry, it feels like the last 2 years have accelerated much of the transformation, recognizing that this is an industry where people sacrifice so much. And going forward, I think it really needs to be able to enshrine conditions where all can really thrive, and it's not at the cost of mental health or physical health, but it really nurtures people going forward.
I love having people on, Michael, when they're talking and you're like, yes, I agree. That's like so important.
Like that's vital, right? She really hit some bullet points in there. I like what she had to say because she hit the bullet points, right? I like it. And it's true.
She didn't shy away from the fact that we've had as a community of people. And again, as a proud holder of this medal, I feel very much a sense of stewardship and collegiality. I want to do my part. I want to help every way I can. And I know everyone as part of this community does that as well. But I give her an enormous amount of credit for saying, look, we're going to do this and we're going to do it right. And we're going to do it better. Margaret, what was the sentiment of those things that she said? What did the crowd have to say about that?
I think everyone was so supportive, and it was such a great experience on the red carpet. I've been there several years past, it was just a different buzz. I can't even explain the ambience of it this year. There was just a lot of excitement, a lot of diversity, a lot of delicious cuisines and conversations, and everyone seems to be rallying around this new overhaul, which is great.
And we want to go to one of Michael's, yours, and mine favorite OGs. One of the people this year that was honored, among other things, for all the contributions that he has made in the world of food. It's impossible. He got the Lifetime Achievement Award because he's really given so much throughout his lifetime. We're talking, of course, to one of the most famous chefs that has taught us how to cook and think about and talk about food and elevate food across all platforms and across all cultures and communities. Of course, that's Martin Yan. With Yan Can Cook, he was revolutionary. Most people don't know that Martin Yan was not the first chef to take on that role. And he wasn't the first chef named Yan who had a TV show that belonged to a chef from British Columbia, Canada, but I digress. Martin Yan is the one who made us all pay attention to the fact that we could learn so much by watching television and learn about cultures and cuisine. One of the most generous people that I've encountered while I've been doing this, and I know you've interviewed him many times, you got to see your old friend Martin Yan.
Yes, that was amazing. He is such an inspiration to so many generations.
Let's watch Martin Yan on the red carpet at the James Beard Awards 2022.
Now human beings have been consuming food for thousands and thousands of years. The future of food is healthy, plant-based. Let us have plant-based diet to save the world, to cut down the carbon footprint. And that's the future. Very important, healthy, plant-based food.
Wow. Of all the people and all the things, you would not expect Martin Yan, who's done so many dishes with different proteins, to say it's going to be plant. Michael, I'm seeing a trend already.
Jennifer, I went plant-based 2 months ago.
You told me this, and I don't know that I thought you were joking with me.
Jennifer, I do joke a lot with you, but this time I wasn't. You never know what's real and what's not. But that is true. I was at the opening of Crossroads Kitchen, which is the most fabulous vegan restaurant in the world, probably. They're in their own Melrose in LA, and they just recently opened in Las Vegas. I went to the opening, very star-studded, Jennifer. Like you, honestly, very star. You would have been fabulously taken in. But I was hanging out with Geezer Butler from Black Sabbath for a long time, and we spent a lot of time together. And then I bumped into a friend of mine named Tony Canal. Now, Tony is in a band called No Doubt. Are you familiar with that music? No Doubt?
I am.
And he's got the white hair in the band. And Tony is a very, what's the best word? He inspired me to become plant-based. Him and another rock star that was there from a band called The Offspring. And they're like, Michael, you could do it, blah, 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 right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do, and then Geezer, of course, who doesn't love Black Sabbath, right? And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it, guys. And ever since that day, I have not let a lick of animal touch my lips. Other than the time we kissed, Jennifer, other than the time we kissed.
I don't kiss and tell.
Don't get me started.
I don't.
But it's nice to see, and I'll tell you. So I've been eating at all these vegan restaurants. Vegan Chinese, absolutely unbelievable. And I'll tell you, I recently had a cauliflower General Tso. So it's General Tso's cauliflower, and it was amazing. But there's there's 2 or 3 totally vegan in Vegas, vegan Chinese places, right? So I got like crispy beef, it's the fake beef, and the orange chicken, and then the pad thai, and now they have like.
And what did you miss?
Nothing. And there's about 5 or 6 different. Ready for this, Margaret? Vegan sushi restaurants.
Wow, love that.
Isn't that crazy? All plant-based sushi restaurants. And Jennifer, I found out rice is plant-based.
Well, do you know who we have? The hits. I mean, I'm telling you, Michael.
Are you telling me the hits keep coming? Are you going to say the hits keep coming?
So we were talking about vegan, but you know who's had a really prolific history and career of being a legendary generational restaurateur? Ralph Brennan of the famous Brennan family. Margaret, take it from there.
Oh, he is outstanding. But back to the vegan point, we look at this trend. I mean, you even see Chef Daniel Hum, who is transforming. I think it's going to be very interesting to continue to follow this trend. But back to Ralph Brennan. Oh, what a joy. I had a chance to interview him in person at Brennan's back in 2016 for Kitchen Chat. Such a gracious, gracious person. And it was wonderful to see him on the red carpet at the James Beard Awards this year.
He's a legacy restaurateur. He's a legendary restaurateur. Frankly, he's just a legend.
Yes.
Ralph Brennan.
Yes.
So I'm Ralph Brennan with Brennan's Restaurant in New Orleans, and we're a finalist for the Outstanding Restaurant Award. And the future of food, I think, is unlimited. I'm very optimistic, but I'm always optimistic. I just see so much opportunity coming out of the COVID situation where everybody has been at home, and people are going to get back out and start gathering together, and they want to celebrate. We're seeing that in New Orleans quite a bit, especially on weekends, and I just see enormous opportunity for anyone who wants to get involved in this industry.
That is such an inspiring statement, but he's also a very smart restaurateur and leader in our industry. If he doesn't come forward and say to the kids in the industry, don't give up on this yet. Don't give up on your passion and your love for this industry just yet.
Absolutely. Such an encouragement. And also, Jennifer and Michael, it was so encouraging to see the emerging chefs come up the red carpet as well, and just to see and hear all that they're saying within the industry. And it is important that we foster the younger generation within this industry, and it's exciting to see what's coming up.
Let's go next to one of these young influencers. We talked to several of them. I'm going to actually jump around, Nathan, if that's okay, and go to Irene Lee, who was the winner, the recipient of one of the leadership awards at the 2022 James Beard Foundation Awards. Irene Lee is originally from Massachusetts. Her parents, like mine, were oncologists, cancer doctors, and in particular, breast cancer doctors. So I don't know, Margaret, if you knew that both of her parents are not only breast cancer specialists, but her dad was one of the scientists and doctors who discovered the BRCA gene. So he is responsible for saving lives.
Wow.
And when you come from a legacy of scientists like that, but you love food the way each of us loves food. I'm a little older than Margaret, but when I was going into food, I might as well have said I was going to, trade school to learn how to fix an engine. They're like, no, don't get your hands dirty. They didn't understand where we see food today. They didn't see it the same way. And what I have to tell you is I have known Margaret since she was born. And I am so incredibly proud. Not only at her restaurant, May does she make incredible dumplings, but she works with her brother and her sister as well, who are just terrific human beings. They're like younger cousins to me. And to watch all this happen is like the most exciting, because to me, it really feels like we're passing a torch to the next generation. And she didn't just win, best new chef or, up and coming chef or best new restaurant, like someone who's going to make a difference in the future. She won a leadership award. Mm-hmm. That means she's really taking all the gifts that she was given and really put them to great use for our industry. You did an amazing job getting this interview. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Irene Lee.
I think the future of food is going to be more diverse than ever. It has been such a joy to see chefs opening restaurants representing food from home, from all over the world. And I think the more fun food we have, the more diverse our community is, the more delicious everything is going to be.
Did you see the joy on her face?
Yes. Oh, she just epitomizes the joy of this culinary journey, truly.
You're somebody who always talks about joy. You live it. It's really incredible to have you constantly be reminding us of how much joy there is in the world. That may be the most joyful expression I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
Joy is back in the food world.
Very well said. I love that.
Now, I'm going to talk about another dynamic young person who I thought was amazing. Let's go to Calvin Eng from Bonnie's. He was nominated for Emerging Chef, and it's this idea that these emerging chefs are people who are at the early point of their career. What can you tell us about the impression you got about speaking with him?
I was so impressed. I wish I could have interviewed all of the emerging chef nominees. They were so inspirational, but I love how he really brings it back home and talks about how important it is that we're going back to the heritage of food and the food that different ethnicities grew up with and how that's coming to the forefront.
Nominee for Emerging Chef, Calvin Eng.
My name is Calvin Eng. I'm the chef and owner of Bonnie's in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm nominated for the Emerging Chef Award. And the future of food, to me, is going to be a lot of ethnic food coming from younger people, and hopefully younger people like myself who are pursuing the food of their heritage that they grew up eating.
Mic drop.
Yes. He sums it up so well with what is going on. Yes.
What I loved about his comment, Margaret, is the clarity, the certainty, and the commitment. Wow. That was so impressive. Let's go to Asheville, North Carolina for what many people said was one of the most exciting nominations and awards of the night. Winner of the Outstanding Restaurant, Chai Pani. Can you talk a little bit about how far, because you and I have been doing this a long time, how far has Outstanding Restaurant come from, French Laundry, Le Bernardin, perfect tablecloths, expensive, 3 Michelin star in Little Washington, to where we now consider excellence, what we consider being excellent, and where it's actually happening. It's very exciting.
It is so exciting. It's the redefining, the refining of the definition of excellence, and it's taking food back to its roots. It doesn't have to be, and although we love the Michelin stars and all of that, it's taking it back home.
Yeah.
And with a whole new definition of what the cuisine is and within the place where it is. It was just a wonderful surprise to see them.
Well, Outstanding Restaurant, Chai Pani in North Carolina.
I'm Molly Irani, co-founder, Chai Pani Indian Street Food in Asheville, North Carolina.
And we're nominated for Outstanding Restaurant. And what is the future of food? I think the future of food is more inclusive and egalitarian.
I think it's celebratory. We're ready to come back together again. The world needs to come together around a table, and we're excited to do that.
There's no ignoring the fact that we've been apart for too long.
Yes. Yes. And I love that it is bringing the world to the table and bringing the world to the plates on the table and celebrating the differences and the delicacies of different cuisines.
Well, we're going to go to Texas next, where the nominee for Best Chef Texas has her roots at the Roots Southern Table. Of course, that's Tiffany Derry. And She is somebody that I fangirl about, and I'm thrilled you were able to get a minute with her. She's extremely popular. How is it that you actually managed to steal a minute with her?
I just asked, and yeah, I couldn't miss that opportunity. So.
Now, have you had her on Kitchen Chat before?
No, but I would love to. So inspiring and just delightful, truly delightful. Another
nominee for Best Chef Texas, Tiffany Derry.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Derry, and I am the chef and owner of Root Southern Table with Root's Chicken Shack, and we are being nominated for me, Best Chef Texas, and then Best New Restaurant. The future of food is looking good. We are moving in the right direction, and I think that it's going to be absolutely delicious.
When that woman tells me that the future is going to be delicious, and I'm going to have something to do with that, I'm like, I want to eat at your table. Like, what do I have to do to get there?
Yes. And she exudes the joy once again.
Last but not least, up in the Pacific Northwest is a woman that I admire a great deal. Renee Erickson has created a real community and culture around her sensibility about food, where she is on the planet, and what it means to be a great restaurateur as a leader. We were thrilled to get you the chance to grab a minute with the folks from one of my all-time favorite places, the Walrus and the Carpenter, nominated for Outstanding Restaurant.
Well, I'm Jeremy Price from Walrus and Carpenter.
I'm Bobby Palmquist from Walrus and the Carpenter.
And I'm Chad Dale from Walrus and Carpenter.
What's next for food? I don't know. My hunch is we're going to keep seeing more and more like takeout kind of a stuff. I think that's one of the big adaptations that's going to maybe stick. I don't know. What do you all think?
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't say anything silly, you two.
Yeah. Well, what do you think's next for food, Renee Erickson?
Oh, hell.
We said takeaway.
Didn't we already do that?
I think we're going to do it forever.
Takeaways was next. I think all sorts of strange ways of growing meats that don't include carbon emissions.
There you go.
Yeah.
More sustainability, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully more sustainability. Yeah. Well, good luck. Certainly not cheaper food.
Wow. Leave it to Renee to come in and mic drop for us. A, strange meats grown in strange ways in strange laboratories, and B, don't look for cheaper food.
Right.
That's a tough note to finish on, but my goodness. This is part one of a two-part series that we're going to do. It's also going to be an article in the magazine. You and I are working on that together. You're going to get to hear some of these comments on an upcoming episode of Kitchen Chat as well. But before we say thank you and goodbye in a minute or so we have left, what was your impression overall of this year's James Beard Awards? And what does it say, Margaret, to you about the future of food?
I see it in a very positive light. I loved the theme this year, Gather for Good, and it truly was a celebration of world cuisine here in the U.S. and all of the variety of dishes that come with it. I feel like the future of food, like they were saying, is going to celebrate the diversity and the deliciousness and the individuals who are within the culinary community. It's been a rough time for everyone in this industry. And I am just so hopeful as we emerge from this about the future of food.
Margaret McSweeney can be heard on Kitchen Chat at kitchenchat.info. She can be found regularly hanging out with me, going to dubious places on Clubhouse, talking about food and the future of food. But more importantly, she's one of the most amazing humans I know in service to our industry. Margaret McSweeney, thank you for everything that you do. And thank you for Kitchen Chat.
Thank you, Jennifer. Truly such an honor. Truly such an honor. Thank you to you and Michael and Food and Beverage Magazine.
Whether you are thinking about becoming a restaurateur or you are already in the business, Michael Politz has written a must-read, the Food and Beverage Magazine's Guide to Restaurant Success. Pick up your copy today at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, Books A Million, or wherever fine books are sold.
How did you meet these fantastic men? Ian, Paul, it's so lovely to have you here with us. Welcome. And I raise my glass to welcome you.
Welcome. The incredible Vanessa Hudgens and Oliver Trevina. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Cheers.
Thank you. How you doing?
Talk about the fact that the incredible Padma Lakshmi is joining us. Our extraordinary friend Diane Meena joins us from her home. Jeremiah Tower, who joins us today from his home in the beautiful Merida, Mexico. He joins us now, Chef Ming Tsai. Aloha and welcome.
What's going on, Jen? Good to see you.